That's why you're seeing so many. If you were wondering that, it's just been almost a competition. I think every soldier in the army's tried to grow a beard, haven't they, since Easter, pretty much. Anyway, on with the vehicle. So, what have we got here?
A Jackal! Jackal! It's a Jackal! It looks like a Jackal!
One of those UOR, Urgent Operational Requirements vehicles, put out there for Iraq and Afghanistan. What was its key role for when it was first designed?
So it was designed to be able to support personnel in combat operations. You can see it going around, the speed of it is really impressive.
And again with Jackal we've got different weapon mount systems. There's that, what's the circular piece in the middle there? You can put different things on there?
Yeah, so as you can see at the front by the commander, you've got the general purpose machine gun mounted, a 40mm grenade machine gun, or a general purpose machine gun 7.62mm.
And we've got here at Bovington, we've got another variant of this. We've seen the six-wheeler going around. That's kind of logistics support, is it? A similar sort of role?
Yes, indeed. So depending on the roles that it's going to use, it will depend on how many personnel they need to carry.
It's mobility, very important these day and age. So another vehicle, not so familiar I'm sure for many people here. What's this fellow?
So this is a Foxhound. It's a light protected patrol vehicle. Again, it was identified as a need for operations in Iraq and Afghanistan, and it was to replace the Snatch vehicle.
You look at that classic V-shaped hull, go back in the museum, you see Saladin, Saracen. The idea's been around a long time, but the idea there, if that was to go over a mine, the blast is vented up the side, hence the V-shape. You don't
really quickly and get that back into the battle.
We asked, I found out, I was asking earlier about this rather jazzy camouflage scheme. Apparently it's a potential urban camouflage scheme, and like many modern ones, it's actually stuck on and less. But this is a potential one put together by DSTL, Defence Scientific Technical Laboratories, something we might be looking at in the future. We've at the moment still got Berlin camouflage on some of our tanks.
So this is a Challenger armoured repair and recovery vehicle.
Dozer blade on the front, and you've got a winch as well, I believe.
Yes, so the Atlas crane, so the role of that is that can carry up to 6.5 tonnes. It means that it can lift the engines or the power packs of all armoured fighting vehicles up to Challenger 2, so it can be repaired in the field. And also when we look at that winch is capable on a 1-to-1 load of pulling 50 tonnes, or if there was two craft, 2-to-1 load, they can pull up to 98 tonnes, so really, really impressive. The Dozer, its main purpose is to act as
and of course on the back these peculiar looking little, what they sometimes call bird tables. It's got electronic countermeasures equipment on there, which of course are so necessary on the modern battlefield. So a cracking bit of kit, the Krav, and again we'll see that a little bit later on.
Army Trials Unit and Kaufman German supported from 6th Battalion Green.
And this role, obviously not armoured, but recovery nonetheless?
Yes, so this is a recovery vehicle, but its role is to recover wheeled vehicles. So winching, we spoke about winching earlier. This has got winching capability as well, and on a 1-to-1 ratio it can winch up to 25 tonne. On a 2-to-1 it can winch up to 50 tonnes, but at the front there's an extra winch. This is to allow it to do self-recovery, meaning it can get into the most difficult terrain. They support everywhere that you see the battle group. You will always have the Royal Electrical and Mechanical Engineers to support and to provide repair and recovery where required.
Now another amazing bit of kit coming on now. This is basically the armoured engineer variant of the Jackal standard.
Yes, it is indeed. Yes, it does indeed. As you said, the armoured vehicle
battlefield on that vehicle.
Yes, so you've got the excavator. The excavator can extend reach and allow it to perform more precision tasks. You've said about the mine plough, but the mine plough can also be in two sizes. So it can clear, subtract, extend. We can also what's really impressive about this is at the back.
So that is a feature of all the Challenger family, very useful. So here we go, an old favourite, the Warrior.
Yes, indeed. It's been around for a long time and it's still very versatile on the battlefield. The crew that we can see in there is Colour Sergeant Friend, Sergeant Nelson and Sergeant Johnson.
And the Warrior first put into service to go alongside really Challenger 1 as our IFV or infantry fighting vehicle.
But as you can see there, the versatility it has. So you've seen the turret moving, and on there we've got the 30mm Radin cannon. We've also got the L94A1 coaxial machine gun. We call it the chain gun.
On foot. They're protected by that Radin cannon. Now you're a gunnery guy, that's still a potent bit of weapon even though it's getting on in years.
Yes, it is indeed. It's potent, it's accurate, and its main selling point is the speed that this can operate with. And you'll see later on today how effective the Warrior is still.
Now Warrior is going to be around in service for a few more years. It's going to ultimately be replaced as the infantry personnel carrier by a wheeled vehicle. That's going to be called Boxer, we hope. We've had a Boxer here once in the past, we hope to see one soon.
It's assisting other regiments where it's being given as a reconnaissance role as a short-term use.
So what have we got? Oh, another classic old favourite. This time, yet again, a slightly different iteration. Last time you saw it. This of course is chaptered into this particular one. They always, you guys like to call it, it's Megatron, isn't it?
Yes, and the reason that we call it Megatron is this is at the Army Trials Unit. We're constantly doing trials and experimentation, and every year you'll see that there's new additions to the tank, therefore it's always transforming.
So this is that Barracuda system that goes all over the vehicle. What's the other thing we can see on the top of this one?
So we've got the electronic countermeasures, which is what looks like a bird cage at the top. And also, for those that have seen Challenger 2 before, normally you'd see a general purpose machine gun mounted. But on there, we've got the remote weapon station, the Enforcer, which means that the loader can operate that whilst protected inside the loader's station. These additions are almost 12 ton, making this operational entry standard, sitting just under with any vehicle.
Now again, those of you will know, yeah, we've got there a 120 rifle gun. We'll be moving over to the smoothbore gun in Challenger 3. So again, as we mentioned, lots of armour issues going on between Challenger 1. Not the least, the introduction of Ajax and the Ajax family. Now this is one of the variants called Aries. Very privileged to have it here. It's been driving in public view for the first time. This is Aries from the Ajax family. Now, let's be honest, it's had a very troubled gestation period. It's taken longer than expected. It's had lots of procurement issues, but process that information and let the rest of the fleet know what's going on is why this is such a different nature of vehicle compared to the ones we've been seeing earlier in the day. Now I'm saying all that, you've done it, you've been playing with these vehicles, they are very impressive little things.
They are indeed, and what we'll hear a lot of all of these capabilities are also able to be fed to the wider troops and to the battle group, which...
The great step change that of course you can't really see from the outside is all the digital infrastructure and what that can achieve.
Yes, so we're using network to achieve this. So we've now got advanced systems that can detect, but we've also got ways to exploit this and get this sent back to the battle group swiftly and with more information. And these platforms provide this intelligence.
This one is the kind of parent of the family, isn't it? This is Ajax itself with this brand new turret system and a brand new weapon system, 40mm caseless ammunition, I think, on this.
Yes, so we've got the 40mm cannon. I've been on ranges, I've seen this. It's accurate, it's lethal. But we've also got so many systems on the Ajax and the Ares that create this network-enabled environment. We've got an enhanced primary sight. This primary sight, instead of being used for engagement, is used for target acquisition, and
it's also got detectors, sound detectors, that can pick up things at a distance. Now I know we're not allowed to talk about this too much, but what can those detectors detect? What are you allowed to say about this at the moment?
So the acoustic surveillance measures, what that will be able to detect is different noises from different distances and different platforms or aviation, and feed that back, okay?
With Apache helicopters, with Boxers, with Challenger 3, etc. in the future, it means then the right weapon system can be selected for taking out the right type of target on the battlefield. So you're being more efficient, as it were, in the fight. And obviously you can see there all these bells and whistles on this. The real point here is, even though we still probably do need soldiers with a pair of binoculars, but this is so different how reconnaissance is going to be done in the future than the old days where maybe the CBRT guy, one radio, set of binoculars, and
Absolutely. So what this gives is enhanced situational awareness at all levels. The Ajax and the Ares conducting reconnaissance in the area. These would be 5 kilometers beyond other troops. So as you see the Ares coming towards you, if you look on the top, the movement, that is the Kongsberg Protector 153 self-defense weapon. This is capable of firing on the move with enhanced sighting systems and can have the 50 caliber HMG, the 40mm GMG, or the general purpose machine gun fitted there. As we mentioned earlier, you've got intelligence, surveillance, target acquisition and reconnaissance. And
Kilo 0, this is Foxtrot 11 Alpha, sighting over. 8305 8831 Azad.
It's coming back in.
This is Foxtrot 11 Alpha, sighting over. At 0 over. 1 times BRDM and dug-in infantry static near junction. Anti-tank minefield between my call sign and the enemy located at grid Sierra Yankee 82978826. I am at grid Sierra Yankee 83058831 as at 16:16 hours. I'm observing, over. Roger. Hello, Foxtrot 11 Alpha, this is 0. Tango 32 Delta and India 22 Charlie. I'm moving to your location now. Over.
so what we've seen there is the reconnaissance vehicles identify potential threats and feed that back to battle group. The battle group have then seen that they require mutual support in order to deal with support coming from armour and dismounted infantry. So we've now got the Challenger 2 and the Warrior getting into position to provide mutual support. The enhanced sighting systems and the lethality of the cannons. So we've now seen the mutual support of the Warrior, that they are protected from depth positions and an armoured screen. As we can see, we're now using the strengths and the weaknesses of both our armour and our infantry. The armour is provided armoured protection, enhanced sighting systems and electronic architecture, whilst the infantry are able to engage pinpoint targets under the protection of armour.
Hello Zero, this is India 22 Charlie. Contact 1 times BRDM and dismount infantry. Engaging with main armament. Dismount assault. Enemy located at grid 82978826. I am at grid Sierra Yankee 83058831. As at 16:19 hours. Engaging now. Over.
This means that there's
Zero, roger.
firepower at the enemy objective, but we can continue with forward movement. So what you can see there is whilst the dismounted infantry are moving forward, they're ensuring that a rate of fire is maintained whilst they move. This is to ensure that the enemy remains suppressed.
Zero, this is India 6-1 Charlie. Contact dismounted infantry with anti-tank. Position clear and consolidating for in-depth positions. Over.
So now what we're going to see is we're going to see the infantry call time withdrawing from contact. Whilst they withdraw, they will ensure that they remain pointed at the direction of enemy threat, and they will still do it via section attack, where one will provide suppressive fire while the other moves.
Charlie, contact, wait up. Syria, India 6 Alpha. Contact infantry depth. Withdrawing back to India 22 Charlie. Over. Zero, roger. Zero, roger. Echo 1 Foxtrot, this is Eagle. Move now to clear the next lane across my minefield at Grit, Sierra Yankee, 82978826.
So the Jackal group have now called in the Trojan to clear the minefield. Capability first, otherwise the armoured vehicles could have become a casualty whilst trying to clear the minefield. The armoured fighting vehicles will remain in position to provide armoured protection to our battle-winning assets to ensure that they do not become vulnerable whilst conducting their mission.
Hello Zero, this is Echo 11 Foxtrot, reaching now, out. This is Echo 11 Foxtrot, safe lane clear, over. Zero, roger.
So we're now seeing the armoured fighting vehicles moving into the forming up point. This is a position of low ground concealed by high ground to mean that they gain the momentum on tactical movement.
This is Zero Alpha. H hour in 10 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, 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 go.
So if you look at the Trojan now, the commander is controlling the reverse movement. When we look at the Ajax and Aries, we've also got another to provide views of the rear and the reverse. So all of these platforms are now in the forming up point referred to as infantry. This is where the middle roadway, sealed by Alpha, able to make a history. And now what we're going to see is a Megatron punching through, supported by other armoured fighting vehicles to create armoured protection at the front of the battlefield, referred to as a ring of steel.
Zero, this is Tango 32 Delta, contact 1 times 272 at route Sierra Yankee 82978826. Engaged and destroyed. I'm crossing the bridge now, over.
see the armoured fighting vehicles push forward and get into positions where there's mutually locked arcs in the direction of enemy threat. This is known as a ring of steel, and it provides protection as our rear echelon advance forward.
This is Foxtrot 11 Alpha. Screen out to the south established. No enemy seen or detected. Farbank secure. Over.
See now is all of the AFVs shaped out into their original position. However, you're now going to see a couple of laps of showboating and some waving from the armoured fighting vehicle. On behalf of all the military, we'd just like to say a huge thank you to the public this weekend for their support and engagement, and wish you all a safe journey home.
Alps in on-through and rock run. It's meant to aid camouflage in something like a wood